Okay, so in this lecture, we are going to check out how can we make this login system more advanced by adding an update password screen to this application. Fine. So the first thing that I'm going to do is let's come on this designing part and add a screen which we guys can make use of for updating the password. Okay. So what I am going to do now, I'm going to select this screen 3 from this drop down. So right now screen 3 is active. Okay, and let's hit this duplicate button for creating a copy of this screen 3. So we just have to hit this duplicate button and automatically a copy of that screen 3 has got created. That's what you're seeing over here right now on this mobile simulator screen. And the name of this screen is screen 4. Okay, now I'm going to rename all the components which I have on this screen. So the first one is this input box. I am renaming it to U email, U as in update. Fine, and similarly I am renaming this input text box to U password. Okay, and this label box over here, I am renaming the ID of this one to U update. Okay, let's make it update. Fine. Okay, now once the user is done with creating his profile on this screen, so he is going to come on this sign in screen, right, where he will enter his login credentials with which he created his profile on this platform. And finally, when he will hit this sign in button over here, he is going to get redirected on this beautiful screen 2. Fine, where he will be welcomed by this character. Okay, so in case while signing in into the app, if he forgets his password, then what to do? So for that he can make use of this screen over here, screen 4, right? But how will we redirect him on this screen 4 from screen 1? That's what we need to think about now, right? So for that, what we can do, we can define a button kind of thing over here with which we can redirect the user from screen 1 to screen 4. And once he is done with updating the password, he can come back on this screen 1 and then he can use that updated password for logging into this app. That's what I'm going to do now. Okay, so let's do it. I am going to make use of this part of this background image. Okay, this forgot password. Right, now I'm going to make it behave as a button. How can we do that? We can make use of this label box and put it right over this forgot password thing like this. Let's increase the width and height of this label box, and here I am going to eliminate everything whatever is written inside this text box. Okay, let's rename the ID of this label box to update, or let's make it forgot. Fine. Now I am going to come on this coding panel and define the code for this forgot named label box. Let's make use of this on even block. So I'm going to put it right at the bottom. Let's convert it into block based coding. And here I am going to select the ID of this label box in this first drop down. So it is forgot. Okay, I'm done with selecting the ID of this label box. Okay, now when the user will hit this forgot named label box, I would like him to get redirected on this beautiful screen 4. Fine. So for redirecting him on this screen, we can make use of this set screen block and we can place it over here like this. Let's change the ID to screen 4. Fine. So now the user is going to come on this screen 4 just by hitting this label box we have placed over here on this screen 1. Fine. Okay, now what? So there is a button over here let's define a code for this button with which we can provide the rights to an existing user to update his password at any time. So let's make use of this on event block and put it over here right in the bottom. I am going to select the ID of this button in this first drop down, so it is update, right? Let's change it to update. So when the user will hit this update named button, what should happen? So I would like with whatever credentials he has created his profile on this platform, he will be able to update this credential, this password field, right? With whatever he is going to write down over here. So whenever you are doing such kind of thing, so the first thing that you need to do is you need to fetch the details from the table, okay, in which the required information is there. Now in order to read the information from this users named table, we can come on this data tab of this toolbox, and let's make use of this read records block. Fine, so this is the best way we guys can pull up the information from any existing table on the data browser connected to this app. Let's now rename this table to users. Now here I am going to I want to pull the information related to the email ID the user is going to input over here in this input field. So that's why I need to mention this condition over here. So there are two ways you can define a condition on this JavaScript based platform. One is by writing down this line of code in between these two curly brackets, and the second way is to make use of if loop, which you can easily find in the control section of the toolbox. Fine. So for now I'm making use of this get text property. So I'm going to match all the email addresses which are there inside this table with the one which the user is going to enter over here in this input field. Okay, let's now make use of these two double inverted commas, and in between these two double inverted commas we are going to write down the name of the ID of this input box. So it is uEmail, right? Now let's come inside this for loop. So once we are done with fetching the details which are present in this users named table against this email ID which the user is going to mention over here, I would like to update the password field with the text the user is going to enter here. So for updating records in a table present on the data browser, you can make use of this update records block. Let's select it and place it inside this for loop. Fine. Now we need to change the name of the table first. So I'm changing it to users. Okay. Now here there are three fields which are there inside this users named table. So we need to define everything, each of these three fields in between these two curly brackets. Remember this thing. Fine. So the first thing is the ID part. Now how can we pull up the ID of this email address which the user is going to enter in this component? So for doing that, this is the best way. We can make use of this code records I dot, and then we need to write down the name of the column in which the IDs are getting saved. So they are getting saved in this ID named column. I am going to change it to ID. Fine. Now the second thing is this email part, right? So let's change this name to email, and here I am going to make use of get text property, and let's get the text from let's get the text from this uEmail part. Okay, and now in order to update the password for this email address, or you can say for this ID over here, we guys can copy this whole thing and place it over here like this. Let's now change the name of this field to password. Okay, and for this password name field, from where can we fetch the details? We can fetch it from this input box, the ID of which is uPassword. So I'm changing this uEmail to uPassword. Fine. Now once the user is done with updating the password for his email address, I would like him to hear something from the background, right? So for that we can make use of this play speech block. Fine. And user is going to hear something like this: you updated your password successfully. Fine. Now once the user is done with updating his password, I would like him to get him redirected on this screen 1. Fine. So this is the sign-in screen on which I would like him to come again. So for that we can make use of this set screen block, and we can place it right below this play speech block. Fine. Okay. So I'm done with defining the required code for this forgot password screen. Okay, let's now see whether we will be able to get the required output with the code that we have defined over here. Fine. Now before that, we haven't defined any code for this sign up screen. This is the sign up screen, screen 3. So when you'll run this app, you're going to come on the sign up screen. Now if you are an existing user, I don't want you to register your profile again on this platform and then go on that sign in screen. Instead of that, I would like you to directly go on that sign in screen and sign in using the credentials with which you created your profile earlier. So in order to do that, we can connect this sign up screen with the sign in screen. How can we do that? So for doing that, we need to come on the design section first. Okay. And I hope you guys are able to see this. Let me just increase the size of this screen of mine so that you can see everything more clearly. Just a second. Okay, so what I am going to do, I am going to place this label box over here. Fine, and let's increase the size of this label box, and I'm eliminating everything from here, and here I am writing sign in. S is in capital of sign in. Fine. Now let's come back on that coding panel and define the required code for this sign in label box. So let's make use of this on even block. I'm going to put it over here, and let's change the ID of this first drop down to the ID of this label box we have placed over here on this sign in screen. So where is that? S is in capital of the sign in, right? Okay, this is the one. So now when the user will hit this sign in button, he is going to get redirected on this screen 1, which is the sign in screen. Fine. Let's now see, will we be able to get the required output or not from this code we have defined over here in this workspace today. So I'm going to come on this data panel first, and this is the user's name table which is already there present on the data browser connected to this app. Let's run this app. So the screen which you're seeing right now, it's the sign up screen. So in order to go on that sign in screen, we just have to hit this label box over here, and we are now on this beautiful sign in screen. Fine. So if I want to log in into the system with this email ID, So the password which is mentioned against this email ID over here in this users named table is Gaurav123. So I'm going to make use of this, and let's see whether I'll be able to sign in into this app or not. So I'm able to sign in into this beautiful login system. Let's now reset this app and run it one more time. So I'm going to again come on that sign in screen. Fine, and here I am going to hit this forgot password screen. Forgot password label box I've placed over here. Just a second, I think I haven't defined the code for this forgot passwords label box. Okay, so forgot, okay. Let's run it one more time. So here I'm on this sign up screen. Let's hit this button over here. So now I am on sign in screen. Let's hit this forgot password label box. Okay, so I am on this update password screen. Now here I'm going to write down this email address. Okay, and then let's write down a new password which I would like to give to this email ID. So I am writing Gaurav321. So right now it is Gaurav123. Let's see what is going to happen when I'll hit this sign in button over here. Whether the password over here present against this email ID will get updated in this user's named table or not.
You updated your password successfully.
As you can see, the password has got updated from Gaurav123 to Gaurav321. Likewise, if suppose Nivi want to update her password, so she can visit this update password screen, and here she can enter her login credentials. Fine, and here she can enter the new password with which he would like to update his profile. So I'm entering Nivi 2332. Let's see whether we'll be able to get the required changes over here or not.
You updated your password successfully.
So as you can see, the password has got updated to Nivi 2332. Now if she want to log in into this system with the help of this new password, will it be possible for her to do the same or not? Let's check it out.
Welcome user on your dashboard.
Yes, she has successfully logged in into this app. So that's how you can make your login system more advanced by adding this forgot password screen. Fine. Now if you guys have any query, if you have any issue, you are most welcome to ask me the same. And please keep on sharing the link of these videos so that more and more students can join in and learn coding free of cost. Besides, if you want to avail the coding classes facility in which I teach students different languages like Python and high programming languages if you want to learn, so definitely you can avail those coding classes facility on YouTube. You can enjoy these free coding classes I'm giving on this code.org. Yes, is there any issue? Is there anything which is not clear to you guys? I hope everything is clear to every one of you. Okay, so in case you come across any doubt, you're most welcome to let me know about the same in the comment section. Fine. Thank you very much for joining me. Have a great day. Bye bye.